get this right. All right. Hey, we've got someone coming down the stairs. It's Dusty and Chris. We're coming back for a special segment here. Chris wants to talk a little bit about tonight's adventures and some work he's been doing.
Well, first of all, what a great podcast we had with
It was
Amy
awesome.
and Ashley. That was a tremendous podcast.
That was awesome.
That's probably one of one of the coolest ones we've done for many reasons.
Yeah. I mean, just to think that the two girls that are doing it went to high school with, someone that they're benefiting went to high school with. The reason why they're doing it went to high school with that guy too. So it's like very close to home stuff. So awesome. Really cool having them out. Anytime they want to come out, they're welcome, obviously.
Yeah, anytime.
So
We'll have them on one or both of them on our Hangout podcast.
the variety show.
Right. Our show about nothing.
Right. Like Seinfeld, but not.
Right. Yeah, but better.
But yeah. So Chris,
Dusty.
we've got a new sport coming to town.
Yes, we do, and I'm feeling a great sense of relief and dread all in the same.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, with as much as it took to get it started, now the real work begins.
Yeah.
We got a lot to do, have a lot to get organized, have a lot of money to raise. Some of the things that wrestling does for kids that people don't know about, it gives them an immense sense of self-confidence. It helps kids be able to handle themselves in real-world situations. It teaches them to strive for personal growth. Because wrestling's a one-on-one sport. It's
right.
I say it this way. It's a team sport competed individually.
Okay.
So in a lot of ways, it's like cross country or track. It's competed by individuals. It's a team sport competed by individuals. It's so much different than a lot of other sports. It's different from basketball, baseball, football. But it's also different in its training methods. It's different in its what it does for a body.
Yeah.
There's
core strength, right? It's
core and mental strength. It really teaches you how to be mentally strong. Because you could go up against one kid, and everybody's the same weight in your weight class. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're wrestling another 150-pound kid, and it doesn't matter if it's a 5A school or an 8A school. That kid's 150 pounds.
Right, and you're 150
You're
pounds.
150 pounds.
There's no 140 kids on the football team versus 11 kids on the football team disadvantage. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Right. Yeah. There's no numbers game there.
Yeah.
It's mano y mano, or in this case, hermano versus hermana. So it's a boy and girl sport.
Right.
Actually, the fastest growing girl sport in America right now.
Real quick, I don't know anything about wrestling, Chris. I didn't play too many sports at all, but I've been, I work in semi-professional world, and I've been to a lot of conferences and heard speakers, and I cannot tell you the amount of Marine heroes, war heroes that attribute so much to wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't tell you how many guest speakers that have said, oh yeah, by the way, wrestling, my wrestling coach, that's where I got the drive from. It's like, wow.
Well, there's I love baseball, I love basketball, I love football. There's baseball shape, there's football and basketball shape, and then there's wrestling shape.
Yeah.
There's no sport like wrestling.
Yeah.
To get you in shape. I mean, cross country might be the one, but cross country is a longevity thing. It's a distance thing and endurance thing. Wrestling takes that up a notch, I think, even for over cross country.
But I will say this: when we had Coach Closty on here, he said football is the sport.
No, hey, he's the head football coach.
Right, but I mean that. Tell me about that. So Friday Night Lights, people come come to see the team play. You know they're playing every Friday.
Mhm.
What does wrestling do? How does that happen? I mean, are there tournaments or?
So there's both,
Okay.
and what you have is you can have what they call dual meets, DUAL meets. They can have tri meets,
Okay.
and then on weekends there are tournaments. So say uh, wrestling starts this year, we're in a tri meet with Sparta and Redbud. And Carlisle has a program, and from what I
Okay.
understand, Carlisle has two kids going to Division I full ride
The
scholarships.
Indians.
Right, the Carlisle, little Carlisle,
Wow.
is from what I understand, from what I've been told, are sending two kids to D1 schools on wrestling
Jeez.
scholarships. So, for kids that are looking for more money to go to school because college is so insanely expensive
Right.
right now. Get into wrestling.
Yeah.
It's especially for young ladies, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people won't want to hear this, but I'm a huge UFC fan, and
What was that?
yes, a UFC fan.
Oh, UFC. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And the best base that you can have to start from is wrestling.
Yeah.
And
I think I've heard that too.
it is a great equalizer. And in this world, it's not a safe world out there.
Right.
And young ladies who are in wrestling have that where they have that equalizer.
Right.
They understand leverage. They understand, how to take someone down. Even someone that's bigger than them, take them down and be able to wrap them up and then get away
Yeah.
whenever they can. So
Right.
it's a great self-defense mechanism
Yeah.
without having to throw punches or anything like that. It is phenomenal. But, if you have any questions, just look it up. Look at benefits of wrestling. Like you said, there a lot of military people. Just go through some of the Hall of Fame NFL speeches.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. Every time you listen to big speakers, there's going to be one of them in the room that has a wrestling
It has
background.
something to do with wrestling in there, especially those big O line guys, man.
Yeah.
Because it teaches hand fighting and leverage and how to drive. It really works well hand in hand with football
Yeah.
in that regard. But it teaches core strength, rotation, flexibility, which helps every other sport.
Yeah.
I mean, every other sport.
What is the timeline that wrestling runs?
Well, and that's was one of the things that was brought up at the first board meeting when they tabled it for conversation later. Was it runs the same time in the winter as a lot of other sports. So around volleyball, basketball, bowling, things like that. And I was asked, how are you going to handle that? Because
Yeah.
we are a small school with small school problems.
Right. Exactly.
We have a very small group, a pool of athletes to
Right.
choose from. And the fear is that you take athletes from one program and it hurts that program. So my counter to that is if you played another sport the year before,
Yeah.
say basketball or volleyball, for basketball for boys and volleyball for girls, we'll just leave it at those two. And they come in and they're like, hey, coach, I want to wrestle. Okay, did you play any sports last year in the wintertime? Yeah, I played basketball. Okay, are you going to play basketball again? You can, because you can do both. You can do both. Is it hard to do both? Yes, it is.
Right. Right. Right.
But you can do both.
Right.
So yes, I play basketball. Okay, well, if you play basketball and you wrestle, and you played basketball last year, you have to put basketball down as your number one sport.
Okay.
So
that's how it'll work.
How that works is, so if you have a practice, you go to basketball practice, and then wrestling's a new sport. So we're going to work around, we're going to work a training schedule around other people.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a small school. We have small school problems
Right.
of space. Where are you going to work out? Where are you
Right.
going to do this? Where are you going to do that?
Where are you gonna get the training mats from?
Right. So who's gonna put them out and then put them up? Well, the kids are. That's part
Yeah,
of their
right,
training,
right.
Right. The kids are gonna roll them out, and the kids are gonna take them up.
Wow.
The kids are gonna help clean them, because that was the other thing. It was well, what about cleaning supplies? You have to clean it. Well, yeah, we'll figure out what that entails, and
Right.
it's not a difficult process. You spray
Right.
it down, you mop it down, and you mop it dry, and
Yeah.
then you can roll them up and put them away.
Just basic learning curves to get through at the beginning.
Right. I'm blessed that I have people in my life that have wrestled, have a ton of wrestling knowledge. I've been learning a lot. I'm going to continue to learn a lot, because we'll probably start summer workouts
You
for
gonna wrestle
wrestling.
me?
I'll wrestle
I don't want to wrestle you, Chris. I seen you in the ring with that damn. I'm not wrestling you.
you. Some of the guys that were here before, Coach Tanner Day, coaches wrestling. I have a friend, Brian Schmidt, who was a 1994 Missouri State 285 champion. So I have got people around me that know
Right.
that can help me and help our kids and things like that. So you're not going to come into it and just not have somebody there that doesn't
Right.
know what they're doing.
Right.
Between me learning and bringing people in that will help us learn, we're going to put our kids in the best position possible to be successful.
And there's a little bit of a buzz going around already about wrestling, and it may not be so much. I'm sure it's because of the news that it could be coming, but there's also a lot of kids. Well, not a lot, but there are kids in our school that are wrestling other places.
Yes, especially at the lower level.
Junior high.
Well, not even the grade school.
Okay, so I met some junior high kids
Right.
that wrestle in Redbud or Waterloo.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's 4 or 5 that wrestle in
Yeah.
other places right now. Some of them wrestle in Belleville for the little
Yeah, Belleville, yeah.
Little Devils or Little Knights, whatever it is.
Yep.
And then we got kids that go to Redbud for wrestling.
For the Bulldogs.
Is it Redbud or Waterloo? One of the two.
Yeah, I think they're combined. I think
think
it's
so.
Redbud and Waterloo,
Yeah.
but they practice in Waterloo.
The Redbud coach has been gracious and talked with me and offered assistance as well.
Have you met John Brittingham? He's a
have
Redbud police chief wrestler.
I have not.
He works with that program, that
Okay.
Bulldogs program.
I met their head coach, Butch.
Okay.
Yeah, so went to a tri-meet with them, Sparta and Bree Central one night. The wrestling community, I equate it, in the short time that I've been around it, to the cross-country community,
Okay.
which is filled with fantastic people. If you've never been to a cross-country event.
No, I need to. I feel horrible that I never made it to one because we had some awesome kids. I mean, we'll have awesome kids again next year, but I missed some really cool
Right.
kids that passed through the program, and I never got a chance to go see that. So I definitely want to.
So, man, cross-country is filled with people. It doesn't matter what team you're on.
Yeah.
There's always support.
Yeah.
There's always encouragement from opposing player, opposing runners, opposing families, opposing fans. I mean, it is such a tremendous sport for people where good sportsmanship really rises to the top. And wrestling, in the short time that I've been around it, it's the same.
Same vibe, huh?
It's the same vibe, man. It's
That's
really
awesome.
great to be around to
That's cool.
see the things that go on.
That's cool. I forgot what I was going to say, but I was thinking about. Here's what I was going to say. I have seen people on Facebook and talk to people that have kids that wrestle, and they say, my kids play football, baseball. I go to all their games, but there's nothing more nerve-wracking than watching them one-on-one down there. That's got to be, for a sport parent, how often do you see your kid? I mean, yeah, if you're up to bat, kind of one-on-one, but there's nothing like you versus him.
Right.
That's
There's nothing like that one-on-one competition.
Yeah.
It's fast too. It can
Yeah.
be really, really fast and exciting. It's high energy. There's 3 2-minute rounds. Scoring.
3 2-minute rounds.
3 2-minute rounds.
Okay.
And it's. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's a great sport to watch. But when I told a couple of us football coaches told our sons, guess what, boys, you're wrestling.
Yeah, right, exactly. Is Luke gonna wrestle?
Yes, he is.
Oh, wow.
At first first it was like, well, I don't have a choice. My dad's gonna make.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, man, he really got into it. He's like, hey, let's. He's the one that's like, hey, Redbud's having this training. Let's go. And we went out there, and man, it was a tremendous time. It was great. So I'm really excited. I know I've got a lot of work ahead of me right now, but I'm going to be looking to hopefully the community and some of our businesses around, and I think that bare minimum to get rolling and be able to pay for the things that I want to pay for as a program. we're looking at probably about $5,500
Okay.
because I think we can get a used mat, practice mat for about 3,500
Oh wow.
under 40 by 40. So it's a big, it's a
Oh
40 by
okay.
40 foot
It's
mat.
not like a single roll up mat.
No, no, no. That's like 6 or 7 of them rolled
Okay,
together,
I got
right?
you.
So that hook up, they Velcro or they zip or whatever. I think most of them are Velcro. So it's about $3,500 for that. And when we were kind of on the down low, putting it out there, we had between right at 20 kids that were interested in wrestling, and a lot of those were girls.
Yeah.
So I was really excited about
Wow.
that. The girls are like, okay, hey, yeah, let's do this. It's
Right.
something new, right? They're adventurous, and I'm gonna tell you folks something. Man, if you've never been to just a girls' event where they're going at each other,
Yeah. Right.
I always go back to Allison's very first cross country meet, and I stayed to watch the high school run, and up in SIUE, and there were these two girls, and they were coming down racing for the win, and there were elbows thrown. They were
Oh,
leaning
boy.
into each other. I mean, it wasn't dirty,
Right.
but it was. I'm gonna.
It
win.
was competitive.
Right. It was the most like.
Right.
It just got your juices.
Yeah.
flowing,
Right.
just to
Feel
see
fired up.
Oh my God! You got the old competitive. Fire
Yeah, right,
burning,
right, right,
because
right.
It's like holy cow! They
Yeah.
compete way harder than boys
Yeah.
sometimes do. So
That's awesome.
like I said, I'm really excited. We got a lot of work to do. Comes the design
Yeah.
for the singlet and making sure.
How
we can
awesome
get
that's going to be seeing Dupo Tigers on a singlet.
right, and then seeing getting the mat together, and then working out the details of being able to practice, and then
Yeah.
getting back and forth to meets and stuff.
The last time I really followed wrestling, I think, was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Red Bud had a girl that I think finished second in the state and was just mean. I mean, just ferocious.
Well, when we were at the tri meet, we watched one young lady walk out on the mat, facing a young man in the same weight category, and she whooped his tail.
Yeah.
Boy, she put it on him and she pinned him. I mean,
Wow.
in the first period.
So you could end it early? You don't have to go all three?
No,
You can pin?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a pin in there, and she whooped that poor boy.
I only know WWF rules.
Yeah, no. And man, it was so much fun. I was like, Luke,
Wow.
that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, see her, she twisted him up, pinned him, and jumped up like it was nothing. It was pretty.
That's going to be my baby girl, little
yeah,
wrestler.
yeah,
She's
definitely.
spunky.
She's got all the fire for it.
Yeah, she does, man. Jeez. So that'll be awesome. I'm excited that Dupo's got that happening. What, you say it's high school level?
It is a high school level, yes.
Okay.
So no junior high yet. We got to get our feet wet.
Yeah.
And I know that they are working to get wrestling at the quarterback club level, which
Yeah.
would give us a feeder program.
Yeah.
There are plenty of kids out there. And, man, wrestling's a sport where if you get them in early, they're way ahead of the game.
Yeah, right. I think that goes for a lot of sports, though.
Yeah, but, if you're athletic, you can come in and play a lot of sports
Yeah.
if you haven't played before.
Yeah.
Wrestling's a sport where, the earlier you get them in there, the more proficient they become.
Yeah.
The more
Start
a
building
part
the muscles that need to be built.
the more part of a habit it becomes.
Yep.
And it's I see kids. I hope he doesn't mind. Mr. Dombacher's son, who's been at it.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Horn's son has been at
Yeah.
it for a year, doing great things.
Yeah.
For only having wrestled for like 1 year. Mr. Dombacher's son Leland is a beast.
No, he's a beast on the football field.
And
We've seen that.
He gets it from wrestling.
That kid was almost unfair at linebacker.
Yeah, it really it'll teach you your single leg takedowns just like a tackle.
Yeah,
Double
that's
leg
true.
takedowns like
That's
a
true.
tackle. And it teaches you where to be,
Center of gravity.
leverage everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so important in tackling. The kids, that's the error I see all the time at the high school level is taking a bad angle.
Right.
It's happened so much. So that
Right.
makes sense that wrestling would teach you that angle. We've got a lot of sports shows coming up. We talked today, Coach Lawrence is going to come out. We're working on a date for that.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We got Herb Simmons coming out April 4th.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on a date with little Victoria Barth,
Our little future Olympic.
our junior Olympic gold medalist, Tori Barth, is going to come on.
Who, along with your children, calls me by my full name. Hey, Chris Ellis.
Yeah, Chris Ellis.
Hey,
You know,
Chris Ellis.
it's Chris Ellis.
Right.
That's awesome. So we've got some really cool shows coming up. I'm glad that you've taken the time. What motivated you to want to spear? I don't know. You pretty much you kind of spearheaded this wrestling
It
thing.
did, yeah.
So what was the motivating factor? And sorry I didn't help you at all with it.
Well, not a lot of people knew, and
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot for other people to
Right,
get
right.
into. I had to get my hands dirty and learn the process myself before bringing other people into it. Like I said, work with Jill Weir.
Yeah.
She was a fantastic help.
Yeah.
And I honestly, there is no doubt I couldn't have done it without
Yeah,
her.
great supporter of what we do too. She shares our post with
Yeah.
the school, and
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
As far as what spearheaded it, um, I'd love to tell you this just about the personal growth and everything like that, but it's also about helping our athletes be better athletes.
It's about the football program.
Football and baseball,
Right.
basketball.
Yeah.
It's about it really is about everything because um, things that you do in wrestling translate into every sport. It really, you don't think about it, but the twists, the turns, everything that you
Right.
do in wrestling translates to another
Right.
sport. And it gives us another option
Right.
without I don't know where I was going to go with that, but it just gives us another option.
Something that we can get our feet wet and build
Build a program
from the ground up.
right,
Kinda.
right. I think success this year is getting on the map.
Yeah, just getting it. I mean, success has been achieved tonight at the board meeting.
Right,
Getting the initiative.
So
and-
it's a step-by-step process for me for success. First step was getting it approved. Next step is making sure that we have what we need
right.
to be a program, to be able to set foot on a mat in the winter time, and be able to compete, and then in matches get better every time we go up.
Yeah.
That's really it. Is winning important? Winning. Everybody wants to win, but being better than you were the time before, or learning from what happened, learning from your mistakes, and wrestling's a great sport where you make the mistake, it costs you, or it doesn't cost you, but either way you're learning from that mistake.
Right. Exactly.
You're gonna watch video of your match. You're gonna say, okay, well he was here, I should have done that, and then the next time, whenever someone's in that position, you're like it clicks, and then
Yeah,
bam,
right.
you use that leverage and roll somebody over.
Right.
For
Well,
a reversal.
I can tell you from my experience of what little bit of photography I've done, every sport, especially like football, at the end of the day, it breaks down to a one-on-one. And I've tried to capture that, and that's kind of how I've learned that is that running back's going to match up with that guy, and that's the moment I want to catch, where this lineman versus this lineman, everything breaks down to one-on-one. So wrestling is the ultimate core of
It's
one-on-one.
the basis for everything.
Yeah.
And it's the first sport. When you think about it, it's the oldest sport in the world.
Well, yeah. I mean, it takes nothing to do.
Right.
You can wrestle. We could wrestle right now. I don't want to wrestle. No. We're going to find someone to wrestle, Chris. I'm not a wrestler. I'm a horrible OBS studio podcast guy.
Good, man.
We did good tonight, I think. Loved having Amy and Ashley out. This is going to be great. By the time this public, I'm going to put this out tomorrow. So I'm going to say tonight, I'm going to be at the taco dinner, the PTO, the 20th. Yeah.
Yep. I have a standing dinner date
Oh,
on
okay.
Wednesday nights. So if that falls through, we'll be there. But
Yeah.
if not, I know you're always there to
Yeah, I'm always there.
support
You
everything
$5, all you can eat tacos.
Hey, and they're fantastic tacos.
They are
We've been
actually
before,
really
they're
good tacos. You will be happy with it. And all the fixings. You got
Yes.
your stuff. It is awesome.
Yeah.
So
sour cream, everything.
yeah, make it down there. Support those guys. We're gonna be hitting up with some stuff to try to help raise some money for the new wrestling adventure.
Right.
We've got brackets posted.
We do have the NCAA brackets, and I posted it. I shared it again today. The money, the proceeds, the balance of what the winner does not get will go towards the wrestling program. So that is the first official fundraiser for wrestling.
That's awesome.
And that's the NCAA bracket challenge. and it's $5 for one bracket, up to four brackets, so $20. You go in. You don't have to know anything about basketball.
No.
Go in, pick based on either team color
Yeah.
or logo or name or whatever you want to do. Go in and pick, and then it's easy. The place that I'm using, it updates every day
Yeah.
after every game.
Yeah.
So you're automatically going to know where you're at. It
Yeah.
keeps track of the points. It keeps
You,
track of
it gives you
everything.
something to do for $5. You get to watch where you're at for
Right.
$5.
Right, and
That
it gives you some people that I watch a little bit of March Madness. It
yeah.
makes it a little bit more fun because you're watching. You're like,
Right.
oh, I picked that team
Right.
for
You're
that.
vested.
Yeah, you have a vested interest
So
in it, right?
you're there. Well, that's awesome. I'm really excited about wrestling.
Yeah.
Not me physically, the sport.
And
It's Home
I
Dupo,
know.
but
Yeah, I got what you mean.
uh, so I think this will be good. We'll put this out for everyone to kind of get an update on where we're at with it. And
Yeah.
thanks for all of that. I know you missed one podcast due to this, and it was the Amy Agnew Bennett show I ran myself because you were busy wrestling, and that's awesome that it's paid off. So I'm so happy. I knew, when you came down the stairs smiling that
Yeah. It
because you're not a guy that does well when you're angry or
no.
upset.
I wear my emotions on my
Yeah,
sleeve a lot of the
yeah.
time.
So that's awesome. Happy to hear it. That's all I've got, Chris. You got anything else?
Thanks everybody for your support. Keep an eye out for things like Dusty said. We've got the baseball crew coming up.
Yeah.
Herb Simmons on the 4th,
Mm.
and we're trying to get as many cool and awesome guests as we can to help continue spreading our message of positivity to everybody.
That's right.
Awesome, everybody. Thanks again. Much love.